nor did I ask a question. I posed a statement. And I was speaking on how I realized you had an influx of videos to your channel about Kevin Samuels, which you explained, okay, you already posted these videos beforehand and you gave him his flowers before he died. But for me, what's
Listen,
understood
listen,
doesn't
listen,
need to
listen,
be,
listen, listen,
but you're
listen. Just real
interrupting me.
quick,
You're not
mama.
even like,
No,
okay,
no, no,
can
no, no,
I
no, no, no. This
interject?
is not your platform. For you to come to my platform and just speak over me.
Oh,
Here's the first thing. Here's the first thing. Here's the
oh.
first thing. Here's the first thing. Are you going to put yourself on camera? Because you're acting like a toddler. You're acting like a
I'm
baby.
definitely
You're
not
acting
acting
like
like
an
a
immature
toddler.
black. How old are you? Do you have children?
First of all, yes, I do have children. Second of
How
all,
many
you don't even
children?
know me. Third of
How
all,
many
let's
children do
speak.
you have?
Can I please say something right quick,
No, no, hold
if
on,
you
hold
don't
on.
mind?
The
So
first thing
say
that
what
you
you
have
need
to
to
say is
say.
the first thing that you have to say is that I'm sorry. That's the first thing that you have to say is you have to apologize before we continue forward. Listen,
Why do I need to apologize?
you disrespecting me and other men that look like me throughout my life is not going to happen on my platform.
I'm not
Because you spoke
disrespecting
out
you.
of
In
turn.
fact, something that I said,
Because you
you
spoke out of turn.
misinterpreted, and I can
Because
gladly correct it for you. Your
you
misinterpretation.
spoke out of turn, mama. You
I
spoke
did
out of
not
turn.
speak
It's
out of
very
term. If you were
disrespectful.
listening to what it is that I said, and let
I
me
told
let
you
me
to listen, girl.
clarify for you, if you
I
will.
told
Let
you
me
to listen
clarify for
because
you,
you
if
were
you
being
will.
disrespectful. You were being
Okay, let me
disrespectful.
clarify for you, if you will. Will you let me clarify for you?
All up, no. The first thing that you have to do is apologize before you
Right,
continue
you're
off on your
not
platform.
right. There's nothing to apologize for if you allow me to
Okay.
clarify.
You know what? Clarify. Indulge me, and then I'm gonna.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
You said I was being disrespectful because I said that there are people that are way worse than Kevin Samuels. Vocally, verbally, with vernacular, language, linguistically, yes.
That's
There
not the
are other
reason I said
constant,
you were
hold on.
disrespectful. That's not the reason I said that you were disrespectful.
So I
Do
didn't
you have to
disrespectful. I didn't
understand?
disrespect you. You called me out of my
Hold on. Are
name.
you gonna listen?
From that point,
Because
that's when I
are you gonna
chose to
listen?
disrespect you because you disrespected me. You can gladly go back and look.
Listen. Listen. I did not say that you were disrespectful because of that. I said because of your tone, the way that you're addressing me, your aggressive attitude is extremely disrespectful. And as a mother, if you don't understand how that is disrespectful, that you're not teaching your children correctly, you're on my platform rolling your eyes like a child. You are
Okay.
incapable of continuing forward within this conversation
Okay.
until you apologize to myself as well as everyone else that is within here because you were
Okay,
completely
I'm sorry that
irrelevant
you
in
felt
here.
offended. I
No, we're not
definitely
gonna do that.
apologize for the fact
We're
that
not
you
gonna
felt
do that.
offended.
We're not gonna do I'm sorry that you felt offended. That's not the way that we're gonna conduct conversations over here. Okay. That's not how we're gonna conduct conversations over here. Guys, let me tell you something. A young one, anybody, someone that apologizes for that I felt offended. That's a passive aggressive way to minimize the reality of the situation. That's not going to happen over here. That young lady is the epitome of sign language. She's the epitome of being angry for her choices and decisions that she made in her life. She is angry that she is most likely a single mother. She is angry for the things that Kevin used to talk about. She is angry for the things on my channel and the things that I talk about. She is very out of pocket. She's very emotional. And I just can't have that on my platform like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the mute button over here the same way that I have it up on the YouTube channel. And it's very hard to conduct conversations with young women with such a putrid spirit, such a putrid heart. You understand what I'm saying? So we got to move on from that conversation. All right, guys, a little bit different of a video today, but I think that it's completely necessary. So after going to Kevin's funeral, after attending the burial, and after attending the early evening lunch with his family, I went back to the hotel. I really just took an opportunity in a second just to think, to reminisce. And I decided to go on my Instagram to go live and have a conversation. I had a wide degree and variance of conversations, but there was one particular brother that came in that completely changed my perspective. He redefined my positioning on the death of a close friend or the death of a loved one, and in this specific case, the death of Kevin Samuels.
I would implore you guys to not only watch this video, but to send it out to anybody that's still dealing with the negative feelings or the grieving or the mourning of Kevin, but also to those that are experiencing grieving or loss of anybody who they considered a loved one. I think as men, dealing with grieving, dealing with loss, or dealing with our emotions is a touchy subject, but I'm happy to encroach on this subject on my channel. Let's get active.
What's up, my brother?
Greetings, brother. How are you?
I've been better. Are you coming to talk in about the last conversation or ask me questions about Kevin?
No.
What's up?
Give me about 3 minutes and then I'll be out. I don't have a lot to say.
If you can do it in 1 minute, my brother, no disrespect.
No problem. So, my father, his body passed away about 2.5 years ago. And he and I are very close, very, very close. Yet and still, when his body died, there was no grieving for me. My other brothers and sisters, they grieved and told stories and reminisced. But the reason why I didn't grieve and I don't grieve and I haven't grieved and I'm not going to grieve is because I believe in God. And I am fully aware that we are not our bodies. And what I love about my father and what I respect about my father is A, what he did, and B, who he is. And what he is his spirit. What he is his soul, and his soul is alive and well. You know, the only reason to grieve for somebody whose body has died, and really that's what it is, that's what I call it, it's the body that dies, is if they lived a wicked life. And if they live the wicked life, then there's a good chance that you won't see them again. You know, but if they lived the righteous life and they were here, at least from what you can observe, doing the work of God, and that's the work that you're here to do, then we're all trying to get to the same place. And if we're all trying to get to the same place, then, you know, I have a very high hope that I'll be seeing my father again, because he was a great father. And I'm trying to live a righteous life. And so I'll be going to see my father again. And so within that context, you know, I haven't shed a tear. I mean, the only time I cry is when I think of how hard he worked, you know, life, because if you live your life right, life is going to be hard because you're always going to be pushing up against the belly of the dragon. You're always going to be fighting the demons. That's what it means to live a righteous life, you know, because we're living in diabolical times. If you're going to be righteous in diabolical times, you're going to be fighting a lot. And so my dad fought a lot, and he sacrificed a lot for me and for my brothers and sisters. So even when he was alive and I thought about that would bring me to tears. But I never, you know, I feel joy when I think of my dad, and I pray for him every day. I feel gratitude that he was here and gratitude that God gave me a father like that. So for me to focus on any negative feelings, you know, like sadness because he was here is really an expression of ungratitude, because it's like, you know, God gave me a father when he didn't give most men fathers. And he gave me a great father when he could have given many men, you know, terrible fathers. And so it's like God gives you a toy and then God takes the toy away and then you cry and complain. You know, so it's like in my context, it's like, you know, I was blessed to have that man, and so his body's not here, and you know what? Good for him, because as you know, this life is no picnic. You know, it's a lot of fighting, it's a lot of struggle, and whenever God comes for me, I'm happy to go. Like I got 3 kids, and I talked to them all. I was like, listen, don't cry for me, babies. Your daddy's glad to go and be with his maker. Glad to be out of the struggle, glad to be out of the race, glad to be out of all this. While I'm here, I'm grateful. I'll do whatever God has sent me to do. But when it's time for me to go, you know, hey, I'm out. You know, deuces, I'm out. And that's what my dad is. And that's my goal. My goal is to accomplish what my dad has accomplished, which is to live a great life, raise some good children, and then be at peace with my maker. And if that's what my father is, like, who am I to be sorry for him? You know what I'm saying? Like, and so insofar as Kevin is concerned, I mean, he was making plans for the future, but, he did what God put him here to do. And, good for him. And if we can, us that remain, can finish our life that way,
Mm.
then peace and blessings, peace and blessings.
Mm.
And I just wanted to share that with you, because I can feel that you're kind of going through a hard emotional time, but really, thank God that you met this man. And the other thing is this, is that, what hit me is that because my father is his spirit, as long as I respect, the reason why he sacrificed, he sacrificed, and he gave his life literally for me. And as long as I respect that life, then there is no death, because this is how men live. We live through our progeny. This is why we want to create life, is we live through passing on our life and our experiences to our progeny. And so my father was successful in doing that through me, because I honor it. Now, if I don't honor it, then his work becomes useless, and his life becomes useless, and his sacrifice therefore becomes useless. But whatever he gave to me, I use every day, and I pass on to my children. And so he lives in more ways than one. So, like, logically, spiritually, there's just no space for mourning,
I wholeheartedly appreciate this perspective. As I mentioned on the channel, I don't have much experience with this, but to me, brother, it sounds as though you are very experienced within this, and I know that you leverage your father within this, and thank you. Thank you.
No problem.
I haven't quite heard it put like that before, and I'm trying to still wrap my mind around it, but it makes so much sense. But thank you, because I have not heard a perspective like that before.
Well, brother, look, I didn't hear it until it hit me. I've not really experienced, my father dying was really the first time somebody that really was close to me died. I've had people, but my father was my father. And when I got word that he died, my brother called me, told me to sit down. I sat down, he told me. And for about 3 hours, I was very confused. I didn't really know what to do. And then I'm Muslim, so I got down to pray. It was time to pray, and so I prayed. And as I was praying for my father, I simply, I pray for him every day, 5 times a day. And so whenever I prayed for him, I started to pray for him this time. And as I was praying for him, I realized that most of the things that I prayed for him, I didn't have to pray for anymore. I prayed for his happiness. I prayed for his physical health. I prayed for him to be content. And it's like, I just kept praying. I was like, oh, wait a second. I don't have to pray for that. I don't have to pray for that. And in the middle of my prayer, I'm just smiling. It's like, wow, I just felt, because I didn't have to worry about him. Like, that was just, it's like the only thing that I had to do was just to be left with the joy of the life that he had. And what my father gave me. So that was all, and that's literally all that's left. Like, that's what's left. It's just joy. It's just like, wow, I have an incredible father, and he lives through me. Like, even I'm starting to look like him. It's weird. And I never thought that but it's happening. It's like, I'm so blessed. Like, how can I be sad just because God took away the thing that he gave me? It's like, I always knew he was going to die. I always knew his body was no longer, so it's not like it's a surprise. Right. And the only thing that I have left with is the goodness that God has given me. So it's like, God lend me somebody lends you $100 and say, listen, I'm going to come back for this. And they come back for it. And then you be like, man, why'd you take my $100? That's mine. Like, no. Like, God lent him to me for a while, and God took him back. And I had him for a long time, like, 20, 30, 40 years. So I'm going to complain now? Like how is that fair to God?
Right. Listen, I didn't know how much I needed this conversation. And I know I was trying to keep you to a minute, but you started to go. Just thank you, brother.
Yeah, God bless you, man. No more time for hood boogers, man. Leave him alone.
Wait, say it again?
So don't give any more time for hood boogers. Like, let's focus your energy on putting out what Kevin gave you, especially today.
I appreciate that. I wholeheartedly appreciate that, brother, because, I'm not going to lie. Today, Kev in my mind was Uncle Kev. You know what I'm saying? Like in my mind. You know what I'm saying? I never said him now. I was be like, hey, Kevin. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I call him his full name because honestly, he said it. He said he didn't like people calling him Kev. So I call him Kevin,
Okay.
but in my mind, he's like Uncle Kev. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's got like 16 years on me. And, you know what I'm saying? I'd be lying if I tell you that throughout this day, I hadn't considered my father as well. And my father has heart disease. And to hear what you said and to know that, you know, my father has heart disease and he's still with me. And the gratefulness that I have that I can just call him right now.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And, you know, your words just mean so much to me, brother. So thank you. I wholeheartedly appreciate that.
Yeah, God bless you, man.
God bless you, man. Thank you so much for calling in, bro.
All right, check you out.
All right. Whoo! Shout out to that brother right there. I think he said he had kids. Those kids are in great hands. Those kids are in great hands. Great hands. Those are gonna be the next leaders of our future right there. Those are gonna be the next presidents, the next CEOs. Them kids are gonna be, you know what I'm saying, something we can look at and be like, dang, they doing a damn thing. Notice the difference in the first clip versus that clip. Notice the first interaction versus that interaction. Notice the difference of the tone. Notice the difference of the love. Notice the difference of the serenity. Notice the difference of the teaching. Just notice the difference. It's so far different. It's so far different. It's so far different. Shout out to that brother right there. My heart is calm right now. What I felt earlier, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, women don't, you know, maybe women do understand this is why they leverage it so much, but women's words have a way of cutting. But let me add on to that. A solid brother's words has a way of building. Shout out to that brother. I got a whole bunch of others that are trying to call in right now.
Never dive deep into the negativity because you'll never win that battle. Because negative, low energy, abyss level or dim level thinking people have a unique skill and ability to bring you to their level. Focus on that which is positive. Focus on that which is valuable. Focus on that which is motivating, because I guarantee you that focusing on that will lead the culmination of your life in a much, much better and more happier place. Until next time, YouTube. Peace.